Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Or if this is the first video of mine you're watching, hi, how are ya? I'm so glad you found me. I hope you stick around. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Every single one of your clicks matter to me. They may not matter to someone who has 3 million subs, but over here in the small world of, small YouTube creators, you matter. You matter. And I appreciate all your support. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Spirit Box apps and when I upload Spirit Box sessions and testing these apps out. I want to talk just a little bit about it very quickly. I apologize. I'm going to try to talk as fast as I can because you know me. I'll just be rambling and go and go and go and go and go and go and keep talking. So we're going to try to change that, but I can't make any promises. So I upload a plethora of variety of content, and personally, some of my favorites are the Spirit Boxes. I really enjoy doing them. I am not a paranormal investigator per se. I just simply am interested in it. I'm really interested in the topic of paranormal investigations. I love watching other people's investigations, urban exploring of haunted locations where they use spirit boxes and all this. I love it. So with the devices that I have available, which are Android, I don't have an iPhone. That may be something I get in the future just for videos, but for now we're stuck with the Android apps, and I want to talk about them a little bit. I saw oh, it's acting like my Wi-Fi is messed up. That's odd. I saw a comment on one of my Spirit Box sessions. I believe it was when I was using the Raptor, and the person said that it sounded like instruments when I turned it on. And yes, it does. Because it is. So I want to talk a little bit about how these work and how they would work as far as communicating with a legitimate spirit. They're all a bit different. There's different types. And so we're just going to quickly do a quick explanation on these, just so when I upload, you know what you're hearing and what you're listening for. Okay, so with this Raptor Spirit Box, what it does, the Raptor and something like Solomon, I'm gonna have to search for it. I have used this app before. Paranormal Shadows UK, I really like their work. And I really like their devices. And actually, it's the Murmur Box. So there's a bunch of different ones. Banshee, Murmur Box, Spiritron, the Portal, which if you don't know who Steve Huff is, if you're watching this and you're interested in this topic, he is a great person to get information from. He is actually what started me on this path. So huge shout out to Huff Paranormal. Steve Huff, you're awesome. I love you. I love your work. It's so inspirational, and I hope you keep it up. However, me personally, I have had little luck with the Portal app, but that might just be me. So anyway, some of these apps will require internet connection, a data connection, a Wi-Fi connection. So what those apps do is they scan live radio. All right, so when you go in your car and you turn AM, FM on, go to like 96.7 and whatnot. Yeah, that. So what it does is it goes very, very, very quickly through the radio snippets. And it scans, so imagine turning the scan knob very quickly in your car radio, and it just sounds like like that, So it's picking up the radio stations. However, it's going so quickly that it will and it should not have a full word. And not only that, but they will reverse the sound. Okay, so some of these devices do is scan through radio stations in reverse. And the reason for that is so there is no question on if you hear a word that you can recognize and is audible, like English words or whatever your language is, I would imagine. If there are spirits of the English language, there would be spirits of the Spanish language, French, other languages, Japanese, Chinese. I'm not sure of what else. But when it's going in reverse and going in that, going so quickly, it sounds like, that's what you're supposed to be hearing. That's the device working. And then what you do is you need to record what is going on. So you'll want to be recording, because even for me, someone who's done this for a while, like a year or more, there are times that I can hear things in real time, and there's many, many, many times that I cannot hear it in real time. And what I do is I'll listen back through my session, and then I'm able to understand some of the words that were coming out. So always have a recorder handy, always record your sessions. Do not just assume that nothing was being said because you didn't hear it in real time. And I've heard, I cannot speak for the validity of this statement, but I have heard that our ability to hear in different frequencies, like per individual humans, and their eardrums can hear different frequencies, is what enables some people to hear them and other people not. So I would also assume that depending on the frequency that is being spoken with, that would also vary the times that you're able to hear in real time. However, like I said, I don't know how valid that is. So there are devices like that with a live IP sweep. And you will hear instruments because it's scanning through the radio. So yes, sometimes it might sound like a talk show or a podcast. Other times it's going to sound like a musical and a song and a singer, Then the other side of things are where you need to install a sound bank. So specifically, the Portal app, the Steve Huff Portal, this one here. This one, and I believe Murmur Box. Pretty sure on the Murmur Box. I'm not sure exactly. Like I said, I don't want this to be a long video, but I'm trying to just explain. So this one specifically, and if you download one that says you need to install a sound bank. All right, so that's the important key here. If it asks you to install a sound bank, do not automatically assume that there are programmed responses inside the sound bank. Do not just assume that. Because what that does is kind of like the opposite of what the radio sweeping is. Okay? So what those apps do that you have to install the sound bank is all of the noise that comes from the box is internal from your phone. It is not sweeping the radio. Okay, it's not reaching the radio waves. It's not going to the satellite. It's not doing anything. So those are the apps that you'll want to use if you're in an abandoned area, on a device that you don't have service, or if you don't have signal in that area. That will be the device best for that situation because you won't have signal and you can't live sweep the radio, right? However, in order for these, because I see a lot of the times, oh, well, you have to install the sound bank so it must know what you're saying and respond to what you say. No. Would that be possible? Yes. I know it's possible because I've seen it before, specifically on one of those Ouija board apps. It reads what you say and then it says something back to it. However, unless one of these apps requests permission from your microphone, it cannot and will not be listening to what you say. Okay? It won't. That's how these apps work. Okay, so when you need to use something that involves your camera or your gallery, you have to hit allow. If there's something that records your voice, you have to hit allow on the microphone permissions. They don't have that. Okay, so you install the sound bank. It puts in all these different snippets with the Portal app specifically. It has different voices that the spirits can choose from. So it has an older man, an older woman, a child's voice, a whisper even. So Steve Huff was giving the spirits the opportunity to pick what voice they use rather than only having random voices, right? But if it were going to respond to what you say, like say it was fake and it was made up and it was just responding to what you say, again, it would need microphone permission to pick up what you're saying, and it would need some sort of voice recognition software. So it would need to be able to work like something like Google Assistant or Siri or Alexa. It would need to be able to have permission to your microphone, as well as have internal voice recognition and AI, artificial intelligence, that can hear and process what you say and push out a legitimate response that makes sense to what you say. Does that make sense to you guys? I really hope it does, because that's the best way I can think to explain how these work. Yes, it's going to sound like an instrument, and it's because it sweeps the radio. Yes, it asks you to install the sound bank because it does not live sweep. However, you can open app assets, and I'm not a coding specialist. I'm not sure about all that type of thing at all. I can barely get my computer to turn on, but you could potentially break down every single asset inside of an app and see what is exactly inside of it. And I can promise you that if it does not ask for microphone permission and it does not have some sort of voice recognition, which again would need microphone permission, it's not going to have something that can artificially respond to what you're saying. So, moral of the story is, when you're doing these, the most important thing is to have an open mind. Again, like I said, I do not just automatically believe that this is legitimate, that this is real, but I do give it the opportunity to seem that way. And that is number one. That is key. Number two is be careful. Be very, very careful, and do not attempt it if you're not comfortable. You do not want to be getting scared, because to me, being afraid is opening yourself up to vulnerability and potentially not so nice entities, which is something I never want to do. So as much as I would love to have you guys helping me with my investigations and showing me your guys' sessions and this and that, I do not encourage anyone to install and use these apps if they are not serious about the investigations. However, if there is an app you would like me to try out, if there's a specific spirit box that you want me to do a session with and upload it so you can hear what's going on, I am more than happy to do that. If you have luck with a certain app or device, I would love to hear that as well. I know there are so many different types of apps out there, and I'm sure I'll be uploading more videos about them. But I am definitely past my 10-minute mark, so I'm going to have to cut this short. I hope you guys learned how to use these and what is going on, and when I upload, you can at least have a little bit of understanding about what I'm doing and what you're supposed to be hearing. So if you hear any words that makes sense in any of my spirit box sessions, it was probably not just from the app. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.